Soups can be comforting and nourishing. Let's learn how to make them high calorie too. Welcome to the Geriatric Dietitian, your go-to resource for nutrition that supports health, independence, and confidence in aging. I'm your host, Katie Dodd, registered dietitian and geriatric nutrition expert. Let's dive in. Soups are warm and comforting and easy to eat, but did you know that they can also help you with weight gain? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make high-calorie soups, adding simple, nourishing ingredients. And I do have some recipes that I'm going to share that are perfect for seniors who need a little bit of extra calories, but prefer softer, easier to eat meals. So let's dive in. So first off, if you are looking for a weight gain soup, you have two options. Number one, you can purchase a soup that's already made, or number two, you can make your own. Now, if you're going to purchase a soup, I have a few recommendations for you. Number one, make sure it is high calorie, and what I mean by that is read the label. Now, if you are buying a soup from a restaurant, see if they have nutrition facts available, and if you're buying in a store, maybe buying a soup in a can, read the label to find out how many calories are in each serving and how many servings are in that can. If your goal is gaining weight, stopping unintended weight loss, gaining weight back, then we want to make sure there are enough calories in the soups that you're purchasing. Now, a little tip here is that cream-based soups tend to be higher in calories than broth-based soups. Now, as we talk about making your own soups, if you're like, I can't do dairy, I can't do cream, that's okay. There's plenty of things you can do to boost calories. But as a rule of thumb, we know that the cream-based soups are going to be higher in calories than broth-based. And the final thing when it comes to purchasing a soup, find something that tastes good to you. If it doesn't taste good, you're not going to eat it, so it's really not going to help you with gaining weight. So look for high calorie, cream-based, and that you enjoy the flavor. Now, let's talk about if you are going to be cooking your own soups, whether or not you're cooking them for yourself or someone you love. I love soups because they're relatively easy to make. You throw them in a pot, it makes the whole house smell good, and then when that soup is ready, your appetite is high and you are ready to eat it. Again, I kind of mentioned this earlier, but one of the benefits of soups as well is that they are easy to consume. They're easy to sip on, it's less chewing, and for some people who might have, poor appetite, having a soup that they can just kind of sip on is really beneficial. So when it comes to making your own soups, we're going to talk about a few things. The base of the soup, the liquid, the ingredients that you add to it, but then also the toppings that you could add on. And then at the end, I do have some recipes I'm going to share with you guys, or at least where to find the recipes. I'm not going to do a full breakdown. Here's how to make the soup in this video, but we are going to dive in. So I talked about this when purchasing soups, but when it comes to the base, knowing which base has the most calories. Adding broth tends to have less calories. Adding cream, whether or not this is whole milk or actual cream or half and half, is going to have more calories. Now, if you're someone who's like, well, I can't do dairy, but I still want cream, you can purchase a whole fat coconut cream, which honestly is still going to be delicious and have a good amount of calories in it. So when it comes to the base, if you're looking to maximize the calories you're getting, aim for a cream base. Next, let's talk about what you add into the soup. Now, every soup is very different, right? And honestly, that's the beauty of a soup is you can make anything. Just throw it in the pot as long as it sounds good to you. But some soup ingredients to maximize calories include cream. And cream is going to be higher than just plain milk. So when we think of milks, there's a whole spectrum from fat-free, which has no fat in it, which also means less calories, to 1%, which has a little more calories, 2%, which has more calories, to whole milk, which has the most calories of milks. But then you also have cream, which is where they just have even more fat in it, which means honestly, it's going to be super tasty and high in calories. Now, you could also add oil to your soup. And this is especially important if you're like, I don't want a cream-based soup. That just doesn't sound fun to me. That doesn't sound like something I'd eat, or maybe something you can't tolerate. You could add olive oil to your soup. Olive oil is a great heart-healthy fat that's going to maximize the calories that you're consuming. You could also add butter. Some people in their cream-based recipes, they'll add, cream and butter, so even more calories. You could add potatoes. Most vegetables are relatively lower in calories, but potatoes have a good amount of calories in them, which is nice. You could add cheese into your soup. You could have avocado. Avocado is a wonderful heart-healthy fat. You could chop it up, stir it in that soup, and it's going to be tasty. We mentioned cream, but then also whole milk. If you're like, well, I'm looking at what I have on hand in my house, and I don't usually carry cream. That's okay. Whole milk still has a good amount of calories. Nuts. And nuts might seem weird, like, why am I going to add nuts to my soup? You could add nuts or seeds. Now, chopped up, whichever ones you prefer, assuming there are no allergies or any issues there. But I know for me, I love to have pumpkin seeds on my butternut or even sweet potato soups. I just think it's tasty. So adding nuts, which are high in heart-healthy calories, can be a way to boost calories in your soups. You could also add noodles. So thinking of a classic chicken noodle soup, noodles are going to have some good calories in there. Quinoa, which is going to provide calories, but also a boost of protein. And then also rice. So we're trying to figure out what are things I could add to my soup that are going to have a good amount of calories. Again, veggies, you could add anything you want, but veggies tend to be lower in calories. That's why we're trying to figure out what are some high calorie options that I could add to the soups I'm making. Now, once you make the soup, it's ready, you put it in your bowl and you serve it. You can still boost the calorie content of that soup by sprinkling fun stuff on top of it. So you can add many things, including croutons, store-bought or homemade. And if you're making your own, you could add butter, maybe some cheese, and just make a really tasty, delicious crouton. You could add tortilla strips. You could sprinkle some cheese, add some bacon on top, so some crumbled bacon. We mentioned adding avocado in the soup, but you could also sprinkle diced avocado on top. We talked about creams for soup, but you could also add like sour cream or any type of cream on top of the soup. It's going to look really pretty and boost the calorie count too. Bread. So some people like to eat bread with their soup, dip it in there, but then also oyster crackers. So lots of things that you could have on the side or add on to your soup to increase the calories. Now, let me share a couple of soup recipes. If you're like, the idea of just throwing stuff into a pot is stressful to me, give me a recipe. I've got recipes for you, and I'll include the link below. These recipes are actually from my sister website, High Calorie Recipes. I created this website because I felt like when we go online, there's so many recipes for weight loss. But what about people who need to gain weight? And even though my website's not perfect, I'm like, you know what? This is better than the nothing that's out there. I created a website that has lots of different recipes for high calorie foods. So these are a few of the soup recipes that I have. So this recipe right here is a high calorie potato, leek, and bacon soup. The recipe has 4 servings. Each serving is 1.5 cups, and it provides 400 calories per serving, plus a decent amount of protein. Next, we have our more tomato-based soup. So this is a roasted red pepper and tomato soup with cheesy croutons. We mentioned those delicious homemade croutons. So this recipe has 4 servings, 1 cup each, and provides 552 calories. And finally, one of my favorites, the high-calorie green chili and chicken soup, if you're looking for a little spice and fun flavor. This recipe has 4 servings, 1.25 cup per serving, and it's 382 calories. And again, if you eat more, you're going to get more calories. But this one's nice because it has a good amount of protein. So where can you find these recipes? I'm going to include the link below, but you go to my website, High Calorie Recipes. There's a little drop down where it says recipes, and there's a whole section dedicated to soups, and it includes the recipes I just shared and more. So be sure to go to the website to find some high calorie soups. So I hope this video gave you some great ideas for making your own high calorie soups to help with weight gain. Soups are great year round, especially in fall and winter when things start getting chilly. Soups are comforting. Soups can be so nourishing, and they can be high calorie. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Comment below. Let me know what soup is your favorite soup, and be sure to stay tuned for even more content. Thanks, guys.